We'll turn it over to BC Reed.
Thanks, Ron. Hi, William Craig Reed. Honored to be here. I'm actually a 434 member, former Navy diver, and honored to be able to actually present an award today. And I'm going to tell you a bit about how this actually came about. As many of you know, the Us4Warriors Foundation is really a sister organization with the American Legion, California American Legion. We actually do fundraising projects and we do events. And Tony has mentioned one of those events before, which was the Veterans Benefit Book Fair aboard the USS Midway. We had 40 best-selling authors there, and it was done as a way to raise funds primarily to support the number one organization, the American Legion, as well as some other organizations, so that we can be a part of helping the entire or the whole veteran, if you will. One of the organizations that stepped up to help us do that was Alaska Airlines. They provided us with round-trip tickets. Now, we've already awarded at the Vista Post round-trip tickets to Corporal James. Corporal James's father had stage 4 cancer, and this was over the Christmas holiday season. He did not have the funds to get home to Kansas to be able to be with his family and his father during that trying time. So with the American Legion and the Us4Warriors Foundation, as well as Alaska Airlines, I'm going to ask Sarah to come forward. Sarah Blanchard, she is a customer service representative with Alaska Airlines, representing them here today. She was also at the Vista Post in December. And so today, what we want to do is award some more tickets.
Hoorah!
And I'm thrilled to be able to do this because how many times have we seen veterans who needed to get somewhere? It's as simple as that. We just need to help them get from point A to point B. Isn't that what we're here for? Isn't that really what we're here for? And I'm proud to be able to do that, and I'm honored that Alaska Airlines has stepped up and done this. Now, what does it mean to us? We actually have Legion Town. We all heard about Legion Town, right? It's online. It's the way for us to get these stories out. And as a New York Times best-selling author, I was honored with the ability to write an article about Corporal James and what happened. It got posted, but it doesn't stop there. One of the senior vice presidents of Alaska Airlines has informed me that most likely they will print that story, which talks about the American Legion and the work that all of us are doing in the Alaska Airlines magazine. Right? That's the first story. Hopefully we'll have a second story after this. But it's a way for the public to be able to learn about us and what we do. Most people don't know about the American Legion and all the work that you, the hard work that you do. We want to get the word out there. Why? So that we can get more sponsors like Alaska Airlines, so that we can get more donations, so that we can come up with the 50 grand that maybe is needed for something like the UCSD or the SDSU rather, support organizations, things like that. That's why we're doing this. So with that, Anthony, where are you?
Right up there. Come on up.
Come on up. We're going to let Anthony tell a story about what he's doing because I think it's thrilling and I'm honored to be able to be a part of that. We'll let Tony take over from here.
All right, we'll have Anthony up here in just a minute. We're very happy to see you today.
Happy to be here.
Happy to have an opportunity to do this thing. So we're going to turn the mic over to you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, don't mind. I'm going to put the mic down. When I try to do that, I start to perform. You know, we got a time limit here. I want to say thank you to the ladies and gentlemen up here. Charisse, this gentleman right here. We've spent a lot of time together. And I know I'm just meeting you. When I joined the Marine Corps, because I wanted to take care of my family. I had been to college for a couple of years, and I didn't want to be a business accountant. It wasn't for me. I didn't know what else to do, but I saw the military offered a lot of benefits, so I went and joined the Marine Corps. I would go on to be an artillery scout observer and get into some of the coolest things that I've ever imagined. I thought I was just going to go in the Marine Corps, do my duty, whatever the duty was to be. I didn't know the difference in the services, and I got to do everything I've ever wanted to do, even things I didn't want to do. In May 2010, I was out, and I was hit with an RPG. Out in the morning, early morning, where I would catch them with, drinking chai, some of them with their pants down, and hopefully, overcome and overwhelm the enemy. And for the most part, we got that accomplished. But I would be struck with a rocket out in the open field, and I wouldn't allow myself to go out. I wouldn't allow myself to pass out, and we stayed in that fight for 45 minutes. Now, I didn't feel like I was doing anything heroic or extraordinary. I honestly just felt like it was just a Tuesday, just another day where we're going to get in there and we're going to get some. When I was medevaced out eventually, I would come home, and my first thought process, when am I going to get back in the saddle, Doc? Unfortunately, I would get some bad news that I'm never going to be able to do this job again. So after a little over 18 years of service, they would medically retire me. Now what I did during this time, which I had a few years to prepare for the next big event in my life, is I thought about what was important to me. Getting hit with a rocket, people would assume that, wow, that's a tragic event. That's got to be something that's really going to ring your bell. Well, that's true. It did ring my bell, but it wasn't tragic. And I attest this to everybody I speak to when I tell this story. It was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I wish that Taliban soldier out there, I didn't kill him. He would come up here, I would shake his hand. Because what he did for me was he allowed me the opportunity to do something great in my life that I never thought I would do. I got to spend time being a father. I got to spend time being an athlete. I got to spend time sailing, golfing, fishing. Everything that I would have neglected in my life. Because believe me, I did 4 tours. I would have did 4 more. I went out kicking and screaming, but I didn't go out empty-handed. I invested in nice suits. I invested in networking. I invested in my health. I invested in my children. Because I don't know how a lot of you are going to take this, but my assumption growing up with people and men and women who don't handle what happens to them well is they wake up living under a bridge one day. And I refused to let that happen to me. I don't get teared up too much. I know I say a lot of things that have heart and meaning because that's where it comes from for me. Taps every time. And there's a lot of good reason for it. I won't get into it right now. But more so, I didn't want to let the memory of my buddies be disgraced. I do suffer a lot in silence. It's how I choose to suffer. It's not that I don't go out and speak to people. And the only reason why I'm sharing as much as I am right now is because listening to your entire meeting, from the humor when I walked in about the Army, which believe me, that's one of my coping mechanisms, all the way until the schooling. Because actually, coincidentally, that's the path I'm taking. The only reason why I'm not using all my benefits, well, one good reason is because I got my bell ranked pretty hard, so I only take a few classes at a time. But I don't want it to waste my benefits if I decide to get a doctorate, get a master's, because they're not going to last that long. So right now I'm taking my time at Palomar College, And SDSU, who holds the best kinesiology program around, is what I'm destined to go. Now, I mentioned being healthy, being an athlete. I just want to elaborate on that for a second if I can. While I was hurt, while I was down, all I wanted to do was get up and lift again. Fortunately, I found myself on the ground. That rocket hit me right in the leg. The explosion tore up, besides tearing up my femur, it rang my brain up pretty good. I refused to believe it. I got up, I'd fall right back down. I'd run when they told me I shouldn't. And amongst other things I should have done. What I started to realize is that I was sitting here taking fire from these doctors, so to speak, in one direction, when I didn't realize I had all this other space to maneuver. So I started doing that. The events I participate in currently are the hand cycle, shooting, and seated volleyball. And I'll tell you, the endurance it takes for those things, I didn't realize what I was coming into. But once I found out the challenge, like I'm sure many of you have faced challenges in your life, I needed to have it. I woke up, recently I just won the Carlsbad Marathon. It was my second marathon I ever did. I just recently shot down in Point Loma for the Paralyzed Veterans of America. They had a tournament down there. I won the men's overall. It was the first tournament I've had this year. I've shot in competitions before, but everyone just keeps telling me, hey man, you're natural at this, you're good at it, you should do more, so I decided to do it. And now, I'm looking at getting a bid to the Paralympics. And on top of that, I can sit there and teach my son how to throw a football, even though I can't run with him. I can teach my daughter how to fish. I can take them out sailing. This is what I consider well-rounded. Despite my demons, despite the hardships that I feel every day, I can live without wearing sunglasses inside because the light gives me a headache. I can live without walking with a cane. Hell, it took them forever to convince me to have a dog. Because this is how I want to present myself. We all have problems. I think I had problems before I came in the Marine Corps. But there's no evidence for that one. How I choose to present my problems is up to me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, can I say something about Miss Piper? She's not here today because she's in Texas. During this time that I was recovering, I met Miss Piper. She was inquiring about a service dog, same type as mine. So of course, there's problems that initially engaged. And what I found was a strong woman. The majority of my career has not been around female Marines. It's just the nature of my job title. They weren't allowed around. When I met her, I was impressed immediately. When you get to meet her, she'll be at the Marine Corps trials shooting also. You're going to see a woman who presents herself really strong, really proud. She was looking for a roommate, a place to save money, where she could live. I happen to have an extra room. I have my daughter living with me. So I thought she's a good example to my daughter, so yes, I allowed her to stay. And what I found is I fell in love with a Marine that loves who she is. I'm not saying falling in love like I'm going to marry the woman and we're going to have children and walk off into the sunset. I'm talking about with a sister. The same love that I have for my brothers. She has her own things that go on every day, but she's gold medaled at these competitions that I'm just going up for. On her first tries. She's also going for a bid for these Paralympics. And when we're going with these airline tickets, we're going to Hawaii. both of us were asked to see if we could make our way over there because one of the top shooting pistol coaches around, and I've met the gentleman a few times, wants us to go out there and train with them in order for us to up our game over there. Unfortunately, as you can imagine, tickets to Hawaii are very expensive. So I was asking family members, I was going through my Rolodex of what I could use to try to get out there. And bless her heart, Charisse just texted me coincidentally that evening. I said, could you use airline tickets somewhere? And I couldn't believe it. I'll print out the text messages for you guys. I was like, are you kidding me? Absolutely, I was actually looking to travel. And when I told Janae, she cried on the phone because she really wants to do these things. This is the next great step in her. She didn't have the extensive career I had, but she still has ambitions to be great. And think about it, growing up, going through your lives, whoever thought you could be in the Paralympics or even the regular Olympics, be in Rio next year. And now that's became a reality after all we've been through and after all we do. And she wanted me to tell you, thank you very much, you all, because she's from Texas.
Amen.
Texas. Strong Southern woman. And like I said, I anticipate her meeting you one day because when she comes back, I'm going to bring her around. Thank you again. I want to write my story.
Sarah, if you come forward, please. It's with great honor that we would like to present you from the Us4Warriors Foundation, from the California American Legion, and from Alaska Airlines, these ticket vouchers for you and Janae in order to go to Hawaii to pursue your dream. Bring us back an award, will you?